Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 11, Chapter 53. To three Pandiths. The wise are those who know the Atma, divine self. They distinguish between that and this, Tat and Twam, the absolute and the relative, the universal and particular, that is falsely conceived as separate from the universal. When he experiences the truth that he is the absolute Atma, man is endowed with supreme bliss. It is sheer waste if one has no such experience, but has pored over mountains of spiritual texts, or earned fame as a deep scholar. Man alone has the ability to understand the phenomenal world around him. He can grasp the ways and waywardness of the world. He can delve into its evolution and involution, its contraction and expansion. Therefore, he has to give it only a relative value and follow as his only goal the search for the Atma and the attainment of the Atma. The search has to be through continuous, consistent sadhana. Boundless spiritual potential is encased in every being, but in man it expresses itself as jnana, supreme wisdom. Man is neither a bit of clod nor a bundle of flesh. He has in him the inexhaustible spring of Ananda, divine bliss. A person is not just the body with its limbs and other mechanisms. The Atma is the divine person, the soul is the personality, and the person realizes Ananda only when the Atma is cognized. This achievement cannot be won through riches or authority of office, scholarship or status, fame or force. Discarding this perennial Ananda, man imagines the sensual pleasures to be Ananda, and he spends his life in fruitless pursuits. He wanders about the thorny jungles and desert sands. He humiliates himself and crawls and cringes for favors from all and sundry. This is the consequence of the ignorance that blinds. Man must die triumphant over death. Man is equipped with a return ticket when he takes birth. Holding it in his grasp, he earns and spends, rises and falls, sings and dances, weeps and wails, forgetting the end of the journey. But though he forgets, the wagon of life moves towards the cemetery, which is its terminus. It brings no glory to man if he is tied helplessly to the wheel of birth and death. His glory and greatness consists in disentangling himself from that revolving wheel. Before death nips life and thrusts him on to another birth, he must by means of sadhana learn the mystery of the Atma. When death comes, one must be glad to meet it, since he comes for the last time and there will be no more birth for him. Man weeps when he is born. He should not weep when he dies. He must die triumphant over death. Otherwise, he lives only to consume tons of food as a burden upon the earth. You seek to escape pain and grief, but they are inescapable. Life is a dream. In the dream, you experience joy and grief. But when you realize that both joy and grief are unreal, when you wake into the consciousness of the Atma, you will have no more the thrill of joy, or the despondency of pain. You will not have any longer fear or anxiety, fear of death or anxiety about the future. The mind is the architect of your progress or decline. For the fool, the mind is a formidable dinosaur. For the intelligent, the mind is an angel. A mind that is trained is torn by fear, but the pure, elevated mind is placid and unruffled, like that of the homeless sage. The Vedas teach how to purify the mind and render it a useful tool. Pandiths must themselves shine as inspirers. Nothing in the universe exists without a cause. Every being, object, and event has been brought into existence by the primal cause and its direction or guidance. The Shastras, spiritual sciences, yearn for the discovery of that unseen principle. However, through sheer ignorance and perversity, the Shastras have been ignored and set aside, leading man to deceive himself into believing that his illusions are true, just, and beneficial. Man has thrown his humanness into the crater of cruelty, forgetting his best interests. Under the influence of hatred, envy, conceit, and power, man has cast aside the expanse of his culture, and as a result, peace has flown from the heart, from the fold of society, and from the boundaries of nations. The Pandiths and scholars who have gathered today under the auspices of the Prashanti Vidwan Mahasabha must promote and set themselves up as pioneers and examples for the task of making people aware of the greatness of Sanatana Dharma and of the Vedas and Shastras in which is enshrined Dharma, righteousness. They must teach people the principle of the Atma and themselves shine as inspirers through their own practice of what they teach. Immersed in Sat Chit Ananda, sheer bliss in the total awareness of the Supreme Reality, they themselves must communicate that joy and that wisdom to others. Plant in every heart the seed of truth. I bless that you succeed in leading men into that bliss of fullness and fulfillment. Prashanti Nilayam, December 3rd, 1972. Satsang means meeting the Sat, the eternal truth that is praised when God is extolled as Sat Chit Ananda, truth, consciousness, and bliss. Sat represents the principle of existence, the fundamental reality of the universe. Align yourselves with the truth, the Sat in you, that is the Satya reality on which the Mithya falls, is imposed by minds that do not see the light. By dwelling in that Sat, the flame is lit, light dawns, darkness flees, and Jnana Bhaskara, the sun of realization, rises. Sri Sathya Sai Baba.